hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. This is a quite while in the making. I thought I was going to make this at the beginning of the year, but it just got pushed back and back and back, and I just didn't really have any time before I left to come back up to Birmingham. And then also just the past few weeks just have been hectic, but anyway, it's better late than never anyways. This is my December wrap up. Honestly, I can't really remember much about most of these books, so I haven't like reread the descriptions. I haven't written reviews for any of them apart from one, I think. And yeah, so will this be a mess? Probably. Will it be quite quick? Hopefully as well. I started the month off by listening to the audiobook of Guilty by Definition by Susie Dent. I think, I can't even remember the ratings, to be honest. They're all somewhere. Oh wait, let me get because I know where they are. They're in my reading journal, the ratings, so let's find them. Okay. Guilty by Definition, 3.25 stars. It's about a woman that's working for this like library in Oxford, and she sort of not owns, but like she is the boss, I guess, of this team, and they sort of like review words to go in the library, and they get sort of like emails and stuff like that. But they get an email saying something about like, we know some information about your sister's death, maybe, or disappearance, I think it is, yeah. And her sister used to work there. Did she? Honestly, I can't remember anything at the moment, but I think she did. But basically, it's just these library workers, I guess, trying to uncover these different like messages that they get from this certain person, trying to work out like what actually happened to her sister. Did she disappear? Did she die? Was she murdered? Did she like die by suicide? Like what went down? And yeah, I guess it also explores like grief in a sense, and like the loss of someone, and yeah, it's quite interesting about like the words and the meaning of words and how they get their meanings, and sort of like the history and stuff, which is sort of like put in. I did feel a little bit like it was, you know, she was just trying to show off her like knowledge of like words and language and stuff like that. But on the whole, it was fine. I wasn't really that like invested in the story or many of the characters, to be honest. Like I did like some parts was fine and good and decent, but it was just a little bit like, I don't know, it's kind of wanted to get over. A little bit too long as well, I'd say. But yeah, it was fine. Then I read Brooklyn by Colm Toibin. This I gave 3.5 stars to. It's following a woman in Ireland, and to sort of like get a better life in a sense, she goes to Brooklyn and sort of starts a new life there, working in a shop, yeah. And it's sort of then she also meets this Italian American guy, and they sort of like start like a little bit of a romance, but like it's not really like what's really wanted for either of the communities. And it talks about sort of like her life and the place of Irish immigrants, and some of the like prejudices, and her like family and her relationship she has with her mother and sister, and the grief as well, and being sort of like away from your family, and sort of, you know, trying to, you know, better yourself and better your family's lives, and like your livelihoods, and like income and stuff, and the problems that Ireland was facing at the time, and the like mass immigration. And yeah, I did think it was quite interesting. I quite like the characters, but I wasn't like fully invested, I guess. But yeah, on the whole, it was a decent read, and I would recommend it. And also I might check out Long Island, I'm not too sure. I was kind of like intrigued by sort of like how it ended and like what was going to happen afterwards. But yeah, also I'm sorry I'm not really saying too much about these, but whatever. Then I read Evenings and Weekends by Oisin McKenna. I started this quite a while ago, and then I was reading it quite a big chunk on the train going back to London, and then finished it when I was in London. And I enjoyed this for the most part. This I gave 4 stars. I think it was the best, yeah, of the month. I was expecting to love it, like really love it, because I know so many people that I sort of follow and I like their taste have like loved this book. But I think it was one of the first ones that was guilty of sort of like location bias in a sense. And because it is so London, it's so London, like the references and like the places they go and things like that, and just sort of like it is contemporary London basically. And my relationship with the city has gone quite downhill. I just do not like being there. I don't like thinking about it. I don't like, you know, the geography and working out things and stuff. And when I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, I've been there, now you get there, I know all these things and stuff. And it just was like not the best really for reading experience at the moment. I think if I wasn't there, or wasn't, you know, going there, I might have liked it a bit more, a little bit more of a distance between the location and the actual book and stuff. But yeah, it's following quite a few characters, and it sort of deals with like secrets that we harbour and how like they can grow, and like, you know, the pressure of them grow on us, and the like importance of, you know, telling people, and also about like queerness and like holding it in, and I guess sort of like still like, you know, internalized homophobia that people face still in a contemporary age, and how like it's not really gone away and there's still, you know, problems and like some bullying, and also about like you know, like growing up and like the things you do for your children, and you sort of like backtrack specifically for women as well. But yeah, I definitely think it is a very good book. It is so well written, and it's, you know, it's quite enjoyable to read. I would say that there is a few too many characters, like storylines you get. I think it should have been like cut down a bit, and it could have explored some of these more like topics and conversations a bit more better. But yeah, I think it was decent. It was very decent. I would so recommend it. I think I would probably give this a reread maybe in a couple of years.
Then I had a DNF, We Are the Beasts by Gigi Griffiths. I don't believe this was translated, no. This is about these, it's sort of like a children's, like middle grade book. It's about these two friends, I think, or sisters, can't remember, in like France, and they come across this girl that was apparently like, what's the story again? There's basically this beast that's been going around like killing like children and possibly like women or something, I'm not sure, and like all the people in the town are always just like beast creature, and like to blame for the like low harvests and stuff like that. But these two characters come across this girl that she said that her brother was murdered by the beast, and then when this like group of guys come to like, you know, in the woods to like help us, because I think they went to get help, or one of the sisters or friends, and then the little girl sort of like rushes into the bush, and the other one's like, why are you rushing, like, and then they sort of understand, okay, maybe the beast can actually do it and stuff. But like it's not really that far into the story, but like, they basically find out that the father had killed the son, and because the daughter saw that she was probably going to be killed as well, so they sort of like fake her death and say that she was murdered by the beast as well, and then they're sort of like trying to hide her. And then I sort of think that's maybe where I got to, a little bit afterwards. I can't remember how far I got into it, to be honest. It was an audiobook, but I just wasn't really like connecting at all, because I think it was going to have some like important, you know, talk about like women and like girls as well, and sort of like the real like beastiness of mankind in a sense. But I guess I'd already read quite a few books with a similar theme in sort of historical setting as well. And I just sort of, yeah, I didn't really like the way it was written that much. It is quite like, I don't know, it has like adult themes, but it was like written for like a middle grade children's audience. But yeah, I think maybe it would be good. I just didn't give it its due, to be honest. I didn't really want to. So I am happy I DNF'd it, because that is sort of what I need to be doing more of, DNFing, because it's just like not really worth reading a book that's probably going to be a 3-star. Should have done a go with definition, should have probably done a book as well, to be honest, but I didn't.
Anyway, the next book I read is Limbic by Peter Scapello. This is a poetry collection. I gave this 3.5 stars as well. It's all about like queerness and some other things. I think it's a little bit like dirty, but I don't think I didn't mind those parts, to be honest. I cannot remember anything. Honestly, this brain is just not braining at all recently. But yeah, I mean, considering the rating I gave it at the time, it's probably decent. I probably would recommend it, but I just can't really remember much of it. Also, I think I read it quite quickly. It's very short, but at the same time, I feel like maybe I should have like given each poem a bit more chance to, you know, sit with me and digest and sort of understand what was going on. But yeah, when I go back and see if I collated any notes or something, I would probably be able to like write a proper better review for this book, and also so many from last year and the start of this year as well. So yeah, definitely check out my StoryGraph or Goodreads, which are in the description below, for when I finally get to doing those reviews. But yeah, this was, I guess, fine. Next is The Deal of a Lifetime by Frederick Backman. This is translated, but I for some reason didn't put down that it was. I think it is translated by Alice Menzies, I believe, from Swedish. I will sort that out after on my spreadsheet. I've got this, like, didn't need to show you, but I've got it there. This is about a man who is in hospital, and then he sees this little girl who's also in hospital, and it's very short. It's like some nice pictures as well, and then I think he gets sort of like the chance to see what his life would be like if he wasn't born, possibly, maybe. I can't remember, but like, or maybe like, oh yeah, that's it, yeah, because he has a son, but he doesn't really like have like a good relationship with his son, and it sort of explores that sort of dynamic and relationship, and it's something like if he like gives his life, then he can save the girl, maybe, or is it the son? I'm so sorry, this is such a mess. But anyway, he sort of like thinks about like what his son would have done if he weren't there, maybe, possibly, I don't know. I can't remember. I was expecting a lot more because I know people quite liked it, and I enjoyed And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by him, which is a very short book as well. I thought that was absolutely amazing. So it's just a exceptional book. But I think this has like some good themes and talks about sort of like death and grief and the upcoming death of someone, and sort of like your relationship with your family in some sense. I can remember, but I wasn't really that on board with it, or enthralled and stuff, but yeah, I think it was fine. It's fine, yeah. Then I listened to The Velveteen Rabbit by Marjorie Williams, narrated by Helena Bonham Carter. This is about a little like toy rabbit that I think like wishes he can be alive, and there's sort of like a little bit like of a journey about him like doing this, and sort of like his owner and other like toys. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember a thing. But yeah, I gave it 3.5 stars. I think I enjoyed it. I think it was quite like a bit too short. I think I wanted a little bit more like explanation, and a bit more like understanding of sort of like what was going on. But yeah, it was fine. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. And then finally for December, I read Dinosaur Friendship by James Stewart with artwork by Kay Rummy. This is the third and the last, I think. I don't know if they're doing any more in this sort of like dinosaur sort of like books. It's like little comics about different dinosaurs that have like talks with other ones, and it talks about the sort of like like mental illness and like different problems and like relationships. And this is, I guess, with friendships, we're talking about the relationship with yourself, with like your family, with like friends, with like people that you love, with sort of like work and like colleagues as well, and just sort of like the importance of these different relationships, and how they sort of link to like, I guess, your mental stability and things like that. But yeah, I gave this 3.5 stars as well. I think this was my least favourite of the three. I think probably Dinosaur Anxiety was my favourite, and then Philosophy, and then this one. But it was still a decent enough read. And if he comes out with more, I will probably read them, because they are quite like short and quite like nice to read, and have like relatable parts and stuff. But yeah, and then technically finally the final book I read in December and whole of 2024 was Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, the Norman Denny translation. I won't say my rating or my thoughts and stuff of this. I read a huge chunk of it in December, so it kind of is more of a December read than any other month, because I was so far behind in my reading a chapter a day. But those videos will be coming eventually when I have the time to go back over the content and make specific videos for the content from each month. but I finished it. I finished it in December. I finished Les Miserables, 1,232 pages. A beast, a massive book. But yeah, so what is that? So 7 books, 1 DNF, quite a lot of audio, some physical, 1 digital as well. Anyways, yeah, I've sort of forgotten why I do these wrap-ups now. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And I shall see you soon. Have a nice one, even though I'm out in the world. Bye.